Lesson 66, solving inequalities by adding or subtracting. First, let's look at the addition property of inequality. We have already went through the addition property of equality, which meant that if two sides are equal and you add the same number to both sides, they are still equal. Well, with addition property of inequality, it states that if A is less than B, then I can add a number to both sides, the same number to both sides of the inequality symbol, and it will still be A is still less than B. Or if A was greater than B and I added the same number to both sides, A is still going to be greater than B. And just a review of our comparison symbols: greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then we also have does not equal to. Those are all of our inequality symbols. So today we're just going to be looking at some samples with addition property. So here we need to solve for all the values of x. I need to get x by itself, so the opposite of subtracting 10 is adding 10. Do that on both sides of the inequality, and I get x is less than 4. And now I need to graph it, and we graph it on a number line. And we could just put the one number. The main number is right here, which would be 4. And when you're using greater than or less than, you always use an open circle. When you're using greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, so if it has the bar underneath, use the fill-in circle. So for this one, x is less than 4, open circle on 4. Less than always goes to the left. So that would be our graph for that example. Next one, x is minus 8 is greater than negative 4. The opposite of subtracting 8 is adding 8. So I add 8 to both sides, and I get x is greater than 4. Draw my number line, put 4 down. Says it has to be greater than. Does not have the equal to, so it's an open circle. Greater than, the bigger numbers always go to the right. A couple other problems here. X minus half is greater than 3. The opposite of subtracting 1 half is adding a half. So I do that to both sides. I end up with x is greater than 3.5. Draw my number line. So this would be 3.5. As the greater than symbol, so open circle, greater than means to the right. Next one, z minus 2 is greater than or equal to half. I add 2 to both sides, and I have z is greater than or equal to 2.5. Draw my number line. 2.5 is on my number line. It's greater than or equal to, so it's got the equal to part, so I need to have a filled in circle. Greater than means to the right. And the last slide with the addition property. We're going to solve graph, and then we're also going to check our answer to make sure that we are doing it correctly. So x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 5. I add 3 to both sides. So I have x is greater than or equal to 8. Draw my number line. Put 8 on my number line. It has the equal to part, so I know it's a filled in circle. Greater than or equal to means it's going to the right. Now to check our answer, I need to choose a number that's greater than or equal to 8. So I'm going to use 9. So if I put 9 in for x, 9 minus 3 has to be greater than or equal to 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 is greater than 5, so my answer is correct. Any number greater than or equal to 8 would work. And the last one for addition property. X minus 2 is less than or equal to 3. I add 2 to both sides. So I have x is less than or equal to 5. Draw my number line. Has the equal to part, so I'm going to have a filled in circle. Less than means it goes to the left. Now to check, pick a number less than or equal to 5. I'm going to choose 4. 4 minus 2 has to be less than or equal to 3. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 is less than 3. So I know my answer is correct. Moving now to subtraction property of inequality. With subtraction property of equality, if one side is greater than the other, and I subtract the same number on both sides, that first side is still going to be less than the other side. Or if A was greater than B, and I subtract C from both sides, A is still going to be greater than B. So let's practice with these problems. So the opposite of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So now I have x is greater than 1. Draw a number line. Put an open circle on 1 because it does not equal 1. Greater than means it goes to the right. Check it. Pick a number greater than 1. I'll choose 2. 2 for x, so 2 plus 2 has to be greater than 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 is greater than 3. Therefore, my answer is correct. Next one, the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. So I subtract 5. I have x is less than 2. Number line. Put 2 down. Doesn't have the equal to, so it's just less than, so open circle to the left. Check my answer now. Number less than 2, I'll choose 1. 1 plus 5 has to be less than 7. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is less than 7. X minus 2, or x is less than 2 is correct. And the last one for subtraction here. Y plus 1.1 is less than or equal to 3.2. Subtract 1.1 on both sides. And I get y is less than or equal to 2.1. Draw my number line. Put 2.1 on the number line. And it's got to be less than or equal to, so a filled in circle. Less than means to the left. Check my answer, I pick a number less than 2.1. I'll just choose 2. So 2 plus 1.1 has to be less than or equal to 3.2. 2 plus 1.1 is 3.1. 3.1 is less than 3.2. Therefore, my answer is correct. Now let's get to some application. An airline allows a suitcase that weighs no more than 50 pounds when it is full. Just remember, no more than means it has to be less than or equal to. Jared's empty suitcase weighs 5 pounds. How much weight can Jared pack in his suitcase? Write an inequality to solve and then check your solution. So right now, his empty suitcase weighs 5 pounds. But to that, he's going to add some weights to it. So I'm going to put W, so 5 plus the weight he puts into it can be no more than, so less than or equal to 50 pounds. So to solve this, we need to solve for W. The opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. If I subtract 5, the weight has to be less than or equal to 45 pounds. Now I can check my answer. If I put any number less than 45, let's just choose, I'll choose 40. So if I put 40 in for W, is that going to be less than or equal to 50? 40 plus 5 is 45. 45 is less than 50, so my answer is correct. And the final question. Rebecca wants to crochet a scarf that is at least 4.4 feet long. At least means it can't be less than that, so greater than or equal to. So far she has completed 2.5 feet. How much more does Rebecca intend to crochet? Write an inequality to solve the problem and then check your solution. So she started with, she completed 2.5, plus she needs to crochet some more. So I'm going to put C. Has to be at least what she's done, 4.4 feet. How much more does she need to do? So I need to subtract 2.5 on both sides. And I get C is greater than or equal to. Can't take 5 away from 4, so I need to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. So she intends to crochet at least 1.9 feet. So that is our lesson today on solving inequalities by adding or subtracting.